Right, are we live?
Yes, we are.
As far as I'm aware.
Good evening and welcome to our podcast club.
Magical.
Yeah.
Hello.
We're doing this to sort of preempt the release of our new single, Auto which will be out tomorrow.
I hope this goes well enough to put it out before the release, but who knows?
Could be debatable.
So, who have we got here? We've got me, Danny, and
Ash.
Marty.
You got Adam.
Cuds.
And Aaron.
hello all.
So obviously it's all about, predominantly going to be about the new single, talk about lyrical content and stuff like that you might not be interested in, but we're going to force it on you anyway.
Aye, and then a few daft, stupid things later on, just random questions.
If you stick around long enough, that's probably, we're going to leave the best bits till last, shall we say.
Couple of fan comments. Well, we recorded it with Ryan Elano, if that's how you pronounce his name.
Good start.
You are always going to butcher that, like.
I recorded with him Newcastle College. I think it went really cool.
I found it really easy, like, I don't know about you.
I mean, Adam bashed out the drum takes in about, like, a steady 7 hours, I would have said.
I managed to do that song in one take, as I recall, as well. So I am very.
All right, Ringo.
I'm very pleased with that.
Well, no, at the end of it.
It was good. I thought it was class. I think I think a lot of bands, especially in the Northeast, can be quite. It's hard to be prolific in releasing songs now, and especially with like a pandemic going on. I don't know if I'm meant to mention this, but we're obviously planning an EP for later down the line. But and ideally would be even more prolific with that and bring that out pretty soon after this. But
I think we were lucky that we got them 2 songs recorded just before, well, not long before the
all hell broke loose.
Aye. So
Ryan moved as well, didn't he?
yeah.
So we had a bit of a deadline.
He buggered off to Greece.
Yeah, we had a deadline. I don't think you look back and remember we had a deadline, but it was still fairly comfortable, wasn't it? The whole thing. To me, it did anyway.
Because we're that good.
I think. Aye. Just seemed comfortable, and I really enjoyed doing the vocals last. Whenever it just sat on top of everything else.
Yeah,
it just sounded complete.
It's quite a. I don't know about yours, but it's quite a lo-fi.
Yeah.
Type of recording. Both of them anyway. I think Auto kind of more so has that kind of vintage 60s like twanginess about it in a sense.
He got what we were after straight away,
yeah.
which was half the battle. I
mean, we met him for a coffee, didn't we? It was me, you, and Adam, and we just kind of sat and talked, and he just seemed to get it straight away.
Yeah.
Like I know he recorded a few of the Doc Sun stuff before, didn't he?
I think so, and a few other bands.
Yeah.
But nothing like what we kind of put to him, like the lo-fi stuff, because we had to mention loads of singles, and like we mentioned Growler's stuff and certain albums and stuff, remember? And he was right on board with it straight away, so I was quite confident from the off.
Yeah, 100%. It helps when like the producer actually likes the bands that you listen to, and kind of, not that you want to sound like one specific band that you listen to, but it's kind of putting them all together and taking little bits from all of them, really.
I think he absolutely nailed what we were after, really. As you say, the whole lo-fi psyche sort of.
I think he would come highly recommended from us.
I'm spot on. I mean, just make sure he's not in Greece, like, if you want to record with him. I have recommended him to a few people, to be fair.
Got to get on a plane, though.
Aye.
The vocal takes on the tune are fantastic as well.
He's very passionate about the
though.
vocal takes.
I do agree with what Marty's saying, though. I think
it's proper punk, that one, isn't it?
Vocal takes. A lot of them weren't wrote before we went down there, so me and Cuddy sort of conjured them off, didn't we?
That's part of why Ryan really works for us as well, because we went in there with ideas of what we wanted to do, and then we thought, like, just in that moment, didn't we? We went off for a few pints and all, you remember? He had a driving lesson. So we went for a few pints, and after that influenced how them vocal takes went like, but we kind of thought, that'll get mint as well. And he stopped us, if you remember, because we could have just we would have been there all night just doing loads of harmonies, wouldn't we? He kind of said, I think that's a good producer who can kind of just stop you when you... Aye.
He's Lassella Bain.
Ah, I get them
Want
fuckers
me
out the
chilling,
house. It sounds like we're probably advertising him, like he hasn't paid us to be on this.
We haven't really paid him, to be honest. Either.
He's a good lad.
He is a very good lad.
He'll have a rebuild for us next time we get back in the studio with him. Like.
So what's the kind of... To be honest, I'm asking this question because I didn't really know myself. What's the plans after, like, from now, really? Like, after the release, sort of say?
Just got to wait for COVID to go away. And then hopefully get back in the studio again.
I mean, really, it's like desperate to start gigging again. But it's like you're in two minds, aren't you? You didn't know whether people are going to be uneasy about going to live venues or whether they're going to be capped on how many people can go in.
I didn't think we'd all fit on a stage.
You know,
2 metres apart.
With our gear.
Not
our
a
gear's
chance.
nuts.
Aye.
I think our live shows were just starting to take shape and all, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's disappointing, really, because how many tunes have we got?
I know.
Like, tight.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
have like 11 or 12.
we took a really conservative approach, didn't we, in terms of when we were going to start the gig. I mean, we'd been practicing for a good while. And
Probably it's just nigh on a year, wasn't it?
We had a couple of setbacks, so
Yeah.
as ever.
yeah.
Bass players being one of them. That always seems to come up.
I think it's just important to get back in the room, be a band again, isn't it? As fucking cliche as that sounds, but
Dust the cobwebs off.
yeah, just get back, get tight again, then just start bit by bit recording them songs.
Aye. I think what's going to be interesting though, like after lockdown, just how many bands are wanting to get in the studio and just be like gigging. I think there'll be that many bands wanting to just get back gigging again. It'll be.
I hope they can, to be fair, because some of the independent venues that we're used to playing and seeing and stuff, you didn't know how they're going to bounce back there.
Yeah.
I hope loads of people start gigging again.
I don't know if want to go back to Ortlem a bit and talk about the writing process and the lyrical content, Mr. Morton.
Aye. So what was the? Because I'm one of them like guitarists that tends to like I just focus on what I'm doing and the instrumentation's doing. I probably couldn't even sing the lyrics back to you.
I think I could, like, but I don't know the meanings.
Well, the song, obviously, the first premise of the song came from yourself, Dan, didn't it? You had the original
Well, I mean, we were
idea.
We were kind of sat about in yours, weren't we?
I think we were in the first studio we went in. I don't know the name of it. Where Pickner used to practice.
Oh, yeah.
I think Lem showed us it in the kitchen, if you remember. When we were making
we were noodling about with Lem, weren't we?
He kind of just had that chord progression where he sprung up, because I remember saying to you, it sounds like Love. Remember the conversations we would have about the band Love, if anyone doesn't know who they are. Late 60s sort of psych band. And I was quite surprised you know who Love was, because they're very underground, aren't they?
Oh, the class, man.
And
that Forever Changes album's just
unbelievable.
Incredible.
So I remember saying to Lem, that sounds like Love, and then you were like, we were like, that sounds like Love. So we knew we were onto something, but kind of took it from there.
I think you should explain who Lem is, like.
Lem.
Since you've mentioned him and it's also the name of the song.
No.
Lem is Liam Alderson, one of my good friends from school, who is, he was our bass player for a part in time, wasn't he?
Aye.
His heart wasn't in it, bless him, and it wasn't the right thing for him, so we all, like...
Bless him.
He's a good lad. He kind of gave us this chord progression where we were like, oh, I quite like that. And then he didn't have any lyrics for it, I don't think.
He didn't really have anything beyond a little
just an
progression,
idea,
really.
And I think he left, but it was all on like agreed terms on it, and we kind of said, would you mind if we carried on or just try to do something with it? I think David Bowie calls it fishing. You know, when you've got an idea, you're fishing to see if it's going to work. I think we just played about with it in a room for a bit.
I think it was generally speaking quite a rounded thing. I think everybody put their own stamp on the song. You know, I think it's like anything really. It starts off like a little picky thing on the acoustic, and then you get lead lines. You get like the keyboards adds a lot.
In terms of writing, what did you have first? Because me thinking back, I remember coming into a room and it was like a full song, and I was like, whoa. So did you have a verse first, or ideas for choruses, or?
Yeah, I think an interesting point about the song is how it morphed over like several months. Like when it was first brought into the practice room, it wasn't very good. I think it was.
I can always remember the chorus being very flat, and now I see it's one of the best choruses.
It's the opposite of that now, isn't it?
It was near the bottom of the pile. I'm sure there was even suggestions about it being dropped, but it was stuck with it. Because I think some songs you take them into the practice room, and there'll be like an instant sort of, you know that's going to be a good song. But with Auto-Lem, it took a long time.
It was a grower.
It was definitely a grower. Like, and it goes to show that if you've got a good sort of sense for a song, it's good to stick with it and see where it goes instead of just like pieing it off.
I mean, it ended up being like, it's how many minutes? 6 minutes in like 9 seconds or something like that, I think. Which is quite long.
Doesn't feel that long, though, so don't be put off by that.
It doesn't at all. It's like, it's strange. But I think it's one of them songs really where it takes that long to take you through that kind of journey of the song. It's like it naturally needs to be at that length. I don't know if that makes sense.
It's like a 6-minute psychedelic trip. It's like a story.
It's a short trip, that in hindsight, isn't it?
Well, I think what Marty's trying to say is it's free drugs in a sense.
Why?
All you have to do is put your earphones in and off you can, like 6 minutes of
mental buzz.
No, but like we were saying about like how it's a 6-minute song, but I feel like as soon as that first chorus comes in, you don't want to leave the song. The song, like you see it, the song just takes you away, and when the song finishes, you didn't realise it's really been 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Like,
can you remember us when we were recording it, and obviously the conversation come up about a radio edit, and I think we all simultaneously agreed that we weren't going to have one of them.
I mean, it makes sense, but I even think if we did a radio edit, it would still be 5.5 minutes long, because we'd be going, don't cut that, don't cut that, don't cut. It's like, it's quite hard because we recorded it became all one big lengthy thing, but it's kind of like your baby, isn't it? And you start to look at it like, no, I like it as it is. I didn't want to change it at all.
I think each part adds a different sort of shade of character to the song as well. Like Dan says, there's no part you could really bin off and like for it to be the same song. I think would always lose something like. Because I think when people first mentioned doing a radio edit, I listened through it and I couldn't pick even like a little snippet to cut out.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think now's a good time to listen to the track. So here we go. Go for it.
No wonder I messed up in the first place. Later afternoon approaches, I'm already down to size. To dance with the devil, it gets old to me. But I guess I'll improvise. I was adamant, I was caught in the crossfire. But this time it's me that catapults. What a result. But they still come on and eat from the same bowl. I'll take the long way home just to step through your window. And I like what your mom has done with the garden door. I'll take the long way home, but the wall is hardly visionary, like somebody's dug up Mary. It's all hardly arbitrary. No wonder I messed up in the first place. I'll take the long way home just to step through your window. And I like what your mom has done with the garden door. I'll take the long way home, but the wall is hardly visionary, like somebody's dug up Mary. It's all hardly arbitrary. No wonder I messed up in the first place.
Shite that, like, wasn't it? So if you got all the way through that, which I hope you did, I know it's a long haul, but
It's like the 3 Lord of the Rings films, isn't it? Extended edition.
I cannot imagine people skipping the song to listen to more podcasts.
you never know. So Mr. Morton will take over for a bit and discuss his lyrical genius.
Jesus. Well, first of all, it sounds pretentious as fuck talking about your
It
lyrics.
does,
Like,
I suppose the first sort of spike of inspiration came from a song called "A Day in the Life," which is on the Sgt. Pepper LP. There's a part of the verse that speaks about the character blowing his mind out in a car. So
That's like
it's
for the verse.
see it's a bit of a modern day version of that, but with like sat nav and electric windows and that.
Aaron Ray writing the
I didn't
Beatles.
know that, but it makes so much sense now that
Yeah.
you've said it.
Say
Good on you.
yourself.
I'm going to steal your tea here.
I suppose the chorus represents an analogy based around the grass not always being as green on the other side, especially when you peer through the looking glass into other people's lives.
So the long drive home's kind of like a metaphor in a sense, are you saying?
Yeah, so you could see it. It's a metaphor with the long drive home being classed as irrational thinking, especially through the likes of social media, when people looking through the glass at other people see others that seem quite happy, but in reality they're not.
Very
Yeah,
very
but,
open of you, Aaron.
Got Dave canny quick.
Should we talk about something else before? I think Adam's crying. I am.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
Aye, that was cool. It's weird kind of getting an insight into the lyrics in a sense. I'm quite a big fan of lyrics in general, but it's not something I focus on very much, so it's nice to kind of hear.
I think people take their own meanings away from songs and that, don't they? And
Aye,
A
definitely.
lot of it's sometimes in code, innit? I found with mine. It's quite in code that only I know kind of what it is.
Yeah.
If someone asks, I might tell them.
I've got a question for Marty. How have you found joining a band full of such talented alpha males?
Is this your question or
My question, this one. It's personal.
Bit like biting into a lukewarm sausage and bean melt. Like
is that a good thing?
the expectations there.
So
It's
about
not-
3 o'clock in the afternoon when all
it's
the
like-
beans have got a bit cold.
Yeah, it's like you can work with it, I suppose. You're not going to tap back and complain. So we can work with.
You could always
Pretty
reheat
much.
it in the
No,
microwave.
man, I've enjoyed it. Like, it's been good. I've learned a lot. Sort of
Is this your first band?
first proper one, aye.
First part of the band?
Aye.
Yeah.
I am, like, I see it, like, because I'm relatively inexperienced compared to everybody, so it's sort of helping us learn and grow and develop as an artist, myself.
Very well
That's a,
put.
that's a really good answer. That. Right, so into the final segment. It's been a journey.
If you've stuck with it, that is.
If you're still there, then
Thank you.
well played, well played. So here's a couple of I put on Instagram yesterday, kind of asking people to send questions in, and we'll do our best to answer them.
Thank you for anybody who did.
Hi,
send a question
there
in.
was some really good ones. Like, I'm not gonna lie. This first one is from Karen, and it says, "What's the worst thing you did in school / as a kid?"
Karen seems like a naughty girl, doesn't she?
She likes a bad boy.
She's clearly looking for.
She's got a bob.
She's got a bob on one side and she wants to speak to your manager. And our son's not getting enough playing time on the field.
That's me auntie you're talking about. Right, so who's more qualified to answer this question? I'm kind of looking at you, Marty. Like,
I was a good boy, so I've got an out.
were you?
Worst thing, I don't know.
I mean, how
Set
many
somebo-
schools were you kicked out of for a starter? If we're getting that out in the open,
One mainstream. I went to a naughty school. I punched a window that I thought was plastic, but it was actually the last glass window in the school. And put my hand straight through it.
the list's long, like Marty. To be fair,
Oh,
I
it is.
feel like it's like every practice we go to, there's always a new story in there.
Aye, I've done some some horrible things like that. Can't really asked Miss Woollett if between her legs looks like she's sitting on Bob Marley's shoulders. Plenty, aye. She took it alright, actually.
Go on, Adam.
Wait.
You'll have something good.
I can't really follow up from Marty's, but I'll tell one what I don't feel that bad talking about. It was like in year 10, and you know when you have like the record of achievement, and like your teachers will put you forward for if you've done well in that subject. So like at the end they'll read out
the end of year awards type thing. It's like a footy presentation, really. Isn't
Aye, and the head of the year will gun up and he'll read your name and then he'll say which teachers reckon you've done well in. So it'll be like Adam Baster, PE, you know. Then after that, right, they do this like healthy eating award, and they basically. Like you would have your card, what you'd like pay for your food and all that, and they basically took record for what everyone ate, and they'd pick the healthiest eater out of the year, right? Aye. So I was eating, like sat there and like I'm chatting to me mate and that, and then he nudges and goes, "Hey, your name's just been read out for healthiest eater of the year." I was on packed lunches all year. I never even used the card. And then I found out later on that I gave me card to my mate Jack Kearney. He wouldn't be listening to this. And I gave him me card because he lost his. And it's like a tenner to get replaced or something. Or a 5 or whatever. So he'd been eating really healthy all that year. And they gave us like a £10 W.H. Smith voucher. And he didn't say any of it, like. And
Did he still not know to this date?
No, he definitely knows, because he watched us walking back to my chair when I picked up my £10 voucher in front of all the school.
Some say you still hold the record, Adam. Your name's still on a plaque in the school.
He was eating apples. He was eating apples and bananas and all that every day, and I didn't even spend that £10.
I mean, I had a pretty traumatic first day of year 7, like. That was probably. It's not. I wasn't naughty in school, but I'm quite a notorious daydreamer. I tend not to listen. And the first day of year 7, I remember I was bored out of my wits. I was just sat in the chair in like assembly, and the head teacher was stood at the front, and she was like going on and on and on about stuff. And I zoned back in. Well, anyway, she started going, "If you think you can just mess around, do what you want, have a bit of a party, you can just get up and get out." I was on back in kind of when she said, you can just get up and get out type thing. So I stood up and went to just walk along the bloody, like, throw past all the chairs and that, and then I felt like an absolute plonker, like. I started kind of turn around and sit back down, like, while everyone was giving us daggers. It's horrific.
I just want to claim my name. I did actually end up head boy at school, so...
Yeah, you've cleared your name, like, well done. I've got another one from... this one's from Rebecca. And it says, who has the worst dress sense? It's a proper soccer EM question, this one, like. Collectively as a group.
Can we go in 3, 2, 1 and see it?
Oh, God.
3.
This is horrific. Come on, like, think about this, boys.
Just point at the person, right? After 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, I'm the only one pointing at Adam. I'm amazed.
No, there was a few at Adam, like, I think.
I think it was 2-2, Adam and Marty, wasn't it?
Aye.
Desmond 2-2.
Good job where you just stand at the back
I
of the stage.
think my issue is that I just think I'm a rock star when I'm not. So I dress like one, but I didn't have that, like, I didn't have the features. I just have the clothes.
You say something about us when while pointing at Marty, but he's wearing a Silver Club t-shirt.
Right, so this question's from Merch Emporium. Sent a few in. If you could open a show for any artist, who would it be? I like that question.
That's a cracking question.
I think I'm pretty sure we'll all give something different.
Like any era.
Cuddy, I don't know if you want to go on first, like.
Oh, it's a hard question, isn't it? I'd probably pick quite a gig that was going to turn out to be wild. So if you've ever seen like old footage of the Doors playing in LA when it goes off, I'd like to open up for that.
Might not go off for us.
We
Might
keep them
fall.
tame and they'd like the quite the harmonies and that, and then they'd come on and
blow
we'd
us
take
out the
part and
water.
it's going off. That'll be really fun.
What was it? That band that's on that film, The Dirt, on Netflix.
Motley Crue.
Motley Crue.
Crue.
Aye. Motley Crue for me, like.
Motley Crue, what are you talking about?
Bit
But
heavy,
imagine
like.
the sheer crack in that green room.
Good Motley Crue.
Be incredible.
We'd get bullied by Motley Crue, let's be honest. We'd all go home crying.
I'd hide behind Marty, me, so
Aye.
I'd be alright. Marty would get drafted into Motley Crue, I think,
Aye.
and be promoted to the best member.
Marty, who would you like to open up for?
Is
I
that
think I
even,
know
is that
who
even a
this-
question?
No, could be. Course will be 80s or 90s Chili Peppers, like.
Just that era.
Uh,
Not now.
Just in that
They are
era.
still going, you
Shite
know.
now.
Even I, but like sort of in that mad time where everybody's off the tits. So like somebody like them or Nirvana or Metallica or something like that.
Do you know what the
Like,
Chili's would be a stadium show? Would it be like a little intimate,
or it'd be stadium.
fucking full-on stadium?
Too right, would it?
Like Wembley.
Stadium of Light. Nah.
Gated Stadium.
Ash?
It's a hard one. There's a few. Springsteen, maybe, but your gun's on a bit long, so we'll be on early. So it might not boat off.
No one would say us like,
That's us.
I'll come with that. I like an early bedtime.
Springsteen. Right, Adam?
James Brown.
Because he had gone on and day living in America with him.
Why, aye. I mean, if he'd let us. I don't know, is he still alive?
Still, my favourite experience ever was watching Year Day that in which pub was it down the seafront?
No, it was
Sinatra's. He was
the
good
Queen-
then,
it
man.
was
It
the
was
Queen.
no fun when he was good.
it was the Queen Vic, and I didn't even know any of the words.
It was class. That was the best bit.
And then
You shouted New York City about 15 times.
In Sinatra, sorry, I missed that.
No, it was in the Queen Vic.
the enthusiasm was there, but
Do you know that like raw pubs on the seafront?
Aye, aye.
Harborview and that.
Do you know when you're saying, is he still alive? Get this, he died on Christmas Day, and he's the only bloke in history to take the big day off Jesus.
bloody
So
hell.
that's the pulling power he's got.
I mean, he is. I'd love
Fuck him though.
to.
Nah, he's alright. He's got some canny tunes.
You know this? I didn't even know, me.
You just tack anything.
You know-
that
you
comes.
know
He's
these-
got a mint rider. Like that would be the one.
Lemon Twigs. I'd love to open for the Lemon Twigs, mate. They'd be absolutely off at them too.
I don't think I could talk to them.
I'd like to see them like argue with each other, and they'd end up just having a fight or something, wouldn't they? Well, that's mine, Lemon Twigs.
That was a great question.
This one's a two-parter, and the first part's from Marty. It's from Catherine. So why'd Marty decide to do music when everyone knows it's his dream to become a full-time goth? Would you like to kind of address these horrible accusations, really, like, if anything?
So I decided I didn't want to be a goth when I found out that it weren't plausible to sleep upside down hanging from the rafters. So if you're not going to give 100%, then it's pointless doing it.
When me and my mate walking down, he had a long black hair and he wasn't a goth by any stretch. And someone shouted out the car. One lad shouted, what did he say? Wash your hair. And his mate in the back went, get a job. And he turned to me and went, how does he know I haven't got a job?
Second part is for you, Cuddy. And it's, what's the deeper meaning behind the lyrics to Shadows? What's it about? We've already
so-
had one of them. So.
I don't know if he's... It was writ on an acoustic, and it's quite a basic sort of structure. And Cooper's mooching about. To me, when it's really stripped back, to me, it sounds like quite early Dylan, like Freewheeling Dylan. where he's just like a tongue-in-cheek kind of telling a story, but there's a bit of sort of comic value in there. So there's a song called Oxford Town. Don't know if any of you have heard it or anyone's listening. Just have a listen to that. You might not see any reference to it, but to me it's what the song was kind of sounding like. And I thought I'll just tell a story like he would do with whatever's just affecting me in my life. And at the time I was in a really mundane, boring job. And I thought, I'm going to write about these people who I see on the daily. Which I kept it anonymous because some of them actually turned out to be kind of good friends. But the majority of them were absolute weapons, like. So, yeah, I written about that. So, like, the people in the shadows are the people who used to stand in these other people's shadows, hopefully one day getting their dream to be a manager in the office we worked in. So they'd move from their desk where they currently sat and they'd sit on the end desk. Oh.
Sounds like a Ricky Gervais.
Yeah,
sketch,
pretty much. So, like, I just couldn't relate to what they were saying as dreams. I thought I was the odd one out. I was walking into this place every day thinking this cannot be the way for me, you know. So, my soul felt as if it was coming out on the daily. So, I kind of read about that. So, like, the verses is quite like Aaron's in a way. Like, it's a day in the life. So when I talk about the system shuts off, that's like talking about system issues in the office.
Right.
Are you with us?
I'm with you, mate.
Are you with us? When I said
I am with you.
When I kept it anonymous, there's a mention of Sister Susie, and she probably knows who she is, but I'm not going to say it for the record. I hope she. Her nickname was Susie. I'll let you work out what her real name is. Aye, Karen. What else was I going to mention, which I felt was relevant? So the people in the shadows is obviously the people who's dreaming of. They watch from the side, trying to feel what it's like. Yeah. One day being a man, and I just could not relate to it, and I eventually left and wrote a song about them.
It's quite interesting because obviously Shadows is a bit more like it's like quite in your face, and it's just quite not obvious, but it just is what it says. Really. Yeah. Whereas Auto-Lem, I think, is a bit
more behind it,
more mysterious in a way. It's quite a mysterious track. I think instrumentally it is as well. Yeah.
Trying to think if there's any other bits. That mainly is it. That's mainly it.
If anyone's made it this far, well done. You deserve a lot more than you're getting. So yeah, thank you for listening. Obviously, Auto-Lem is out tomorrow. Yeah, I hope, if that's when this is going out. So please stream it. It's on everything.
Add it to your playlists.
You can pre-save it. Still, it's on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube.
Everywhere you can get music.
All platforms basically. So,
like
even the shite ones, yeah.
Amazon's shite.
Why? I didn't want to pay 79 pence for Auto-Lem.
We love all streaming services. Please play our song.
I will appreciate it.
Aye, thanks very much. Cheers for listening.
Goodbye.
And, see you next time.